Hi there, this is Keith, the IT teaching guy. Today I went over configuring configurations, displays, and connectors and peripherals for the CompTIA A Plus 220.801 test. And they broke it down into the section for configurations. And under configurations, there are special configurations for certain workstations, such as graphics workstations. You can have anywhere between an entry-level workstation and a high-end workstation. They mark an entry-level workstation as a 2D drawing / drafting workstation. A mid-range station would be from 2D and 3D, having average system components, and then a high-end would be complex modeling and 3D rendering using premium hardware. To ensure proper function for your graphics workstation, you want to make sure you have a high-end GPU that can handle the work that you're doing. You want fast multi-core CPU, and also fast memory, and you want to ensure you have enough memory for your computer as well. You want to make sure you have a large hard drive, if not multiple hard drives, to store video. And you want to make sure the hard drive is fast enough for your editing as well. Going under they talked about the GPU a little bit, the memory, the CPU, and different characteristics of that. But I went over that in prior videos when they talked about those separately. They went on in talking about video editing, a machine called the NLE, Video Editing Workstation, and they're expensive high-end workstations that should run smoothly, that have dual head graphics card using SSDs and the latest SATA, if not using now the PCI Express slot for your hard drive. You can also configure using RAID to increase performance, using appropriate sound cards and speakers. Also for the workstations, you would want to have at least 2 to 3 gigabytes of RAM per core for CPU core, and at least 2 drives, one for video and one for the common files. You might want to consider also multiple screens, at least 2 for your editing, and you want a workstation that is that GPU is a workstation rated. Virtualization systems is what we'll be talking about next. But continuing with your workstations here, you can see on the screen a website that categorizes maybe a low-end to a high-end workstation, going from a dual-core laptop workstation all the way up to a powerful dual processor quad-core. So you have 2 processors in each quad-core in the workstation, having 6 terabytes of storage for your editing. And even say on the bottom here, 3D graphics and DPT workstations are CAD2 vision workstations, are ISV certified, high performance 2D and 3D graphics, built using the latest 64-bit processors. So I'm going to make sure you have 64-bit if you want more than 4 gigabytes of RAM. And for a high-end system, you're definitely going to want a 64-bit processor. For an entry-level system, 32-bit will probably be fine. And so you want to make sure you have the latest drivers and visualizations that are available. So looking at an NLE workstation, they have the proper sound, they have multiple monitors, and software. So it's just something to do your study and your work on. So we'll move on from there. Other configurations that you'd want to consider that they're just talking about. Another topic is virtualization systems, or VDI, which is a virtual desktop infrastructure on a single server used on client machines. So we'll talk about VDI a little bit, another topic. Alright. And VDI, you'll have a server that will hold all of the information and your virtual operating systems and files and applications, and they can be streamed to the users from home, from the office, from wherever, however you have your network set up. And so we'll talk about those VDI modes. There are 4 different modes. Hosted mode is using a service provider, and so you'll have, instead of having the servers in your office, you will use a provider that has servers and sets up everything for you. And you select which services you need from that provider, and so everything is done through the internet connection. A next mode for VDI is centralized, which is using a server within the company to access desktop interface. Can use static mode, where users have their own interface and changes are saved. So you can have your own settings all on the server, and you just log in, and it brings it all up from the server. Otherwise, there's what's called dynamic mode, where you have just a master interface and there's no changes that are saved at all to your virtualized desktop that would appear on your screen. So that was the second one. That was centralized. And then the third one is remote synchronized. It uses an offline version of the interface and is synchronized when you connect online again. So maybe you can do that from home, you're offline, and you can get some things done, and then when you have to log on, you can log online or back online at your company, however you're able to do it. The fourth is client hosted. That means users use their own desktop and relies on a server for storage only. So the storage is only there for storage, but you have your own desktop which has everything personal on your own PC. So that was the 4 modes for the VDI. They said to deploy VDI desktops in a client server mode, typically you can have 2 virtual desktops, okay, for each processor core in the server. So if you have 1 processor core in your server, you can typically have 2 virtual desktops running smoothly. They said so an 8 to 16 core processor can handle 20 to 30 clients. So you have 18 to 16 core on that processor, your server, and you can run 20 to 30 clients then virtually. Each client requires 1 to 2 gigabytes of memory, so you have to have enough memory as well on the server. And access times to a server would be generally 1 gigabits per second Ethernet network, and up to 8 gigabits per second for network storage. So that's all they had for the VDI, and then the graphics workstations that we talked about a little bit earlier. So keep studying for your A+ test, and the best place to go for videos and studying for your A+, I think, would be the ProfessorMesser.com or freeaplus.com, and you can check out your A+ there and get ready and prepare. So keep studying.